Can you guys hear me now? Can everybody hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, perfect. Thanks, Elena. Okay, so everything I just said was not recorded. All right. So again, thanks, Erwin. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and thanks for letting me know about my mic. I swear to God, my Gemini just played a little joke on me. He actually muted my mic. Oh yeah, I'm gonna shave his back here tonight. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna take this from the top. I have notes, and I apologize, guys. I'm going to be a little scattered tonight. Coffee's still kicking in, and it has been a wild day. But Elena, Ewan, thank you for joining me. Welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Talks. This is going to be about crystals, as you can see. Protectionary crystals. Thanks, Ewan. Happens to the best of us. You're awesome. But now this is, and it's brought to you by Des Moines New Age Shop as well as Des Moines New Age Radio. I've got 3 different channels on Spotify, and the one with the Tuesday Night Talks, the ESP Project, the Mediumship Ethics, the Psychic and Paranormal Investigator interviews, things like that, that's all on Des Moines New Age Radio on Spotify. The Psychic Roundtable has its own channel, and then I'm doing something new. It is Alicia's Desk, and that's reading creative stories, short stories, science fiction, supernatural, horror, everything like that. Of course, they're going to have a little know-how thrown in, and it's only 7 to 10 minutes per broadcast. But it's basically so we can all just kind of take a break, because this year's been really rough. I don't know about anybody else, but dang, it's been rough. So all those are on Spotify. Go check them out. But the Tuesday Night Talks are going to be on Des Moines New Age Radio. Now, protectionary crystals. Thanks, Amy. You're awesome. Protectionary crystals. What I'm going to be doing protectionary crystals, but I'm also going to do a sidebar on empath protectionary crystals. Now, I say empath in the broadest sense of the word. What it is more anybody who's highly extrasensory sensitive. Okay? With that comes a whole new set of rules. But your basic protectionary kit is going to be white selenite, which I am doing a Gem Talks on tomorrow night at 8:30. It's only going to be like 5-10 minutes maybe. And then that's your cleaner. That's the cleaner, clearer. It doesn't need cleansed or recharged. And if you're a lazy cleaner like me, I don't want to follow the cycles of the moon. I don't want to immerse it in water. I don't want to bury it in salt. I don't want to use the earthing method where you bury it in the earth, because I'm going to forget where I put it. And a pot inside doesn't really do it. It actually has to be in the ground, which is a really good way to do it. But yeah, no, I know myself. I'm going to forget that. The saging off method, for me, it doesn't really work. Even Palo Santo in the crystals, it's just a quick fix, and they don't really feel clean. So selenite is always my go-to. I love it. I always tell everybody, put your stones in a bowl with white selenite. At the end of the day, jewelry, watches, everything's got to come off. I've got several bowls around the house. And by the way, we are making a lot of progress with our resin. So I'm dumping selenite dust within the resin bowls, and I tried it out. I got a really, really nasty case in over the weekend, and oh boy, I stuck their stuff in that. I was like, okay, let's see. I pulled it out. Both Nicole and I and Antoinette, we all felt it over, and it had cleaned it out. So we're making progress. And that was before we even stuck in the black tourmaline or anything else. So yay! Anyways, all right, so white selenite, that's your cleaner in this kit. Black tourmaline. That, everybody says it's more of an empathic shield, but it's actually more of an empathic sponge. So everything that's coming at you, the feelings of others, sometimes thoughts, negative energies, negative entities, everything like that, it's going to be like, but just like a sponge, it needs to be wrung out quite a bit. And that's where the white selenite comes in. Black obsidian. Now, black obsidian is absolutely wonderful. By its very volcanic nature, it keeps a lot of stuff away, which is awesome. The problem is, with black obsidian, it takes a quick hit, and then it needs to be cleaned right away after that. So it's good for 1 or 2 hits maybe. But it still belongs in this thing, because one of the things we want is to keep the stuff away from us. Ounce prevention is worth a pound of cure. Next crystal up, tiger eye. And a lot of people wonder why I put tiger eye in my protection kits. I will tell you why. Because With Tiger Eye, it grounds you, it focuses you. Yes, it is protective, but it puts your feet on the ground and allows some of that longer vision to come in so you can see past where you are right now if you're going through a bad patch. Tiger Eye is amazing and it's wonderful, and I always recommend it. It's awesome for people who just need to ground out and calm down that mind, which is odd. It connects more to the sacral chakra, but oh well, it's still wonderful for that purpose. Next up, and a lot of people are very surprised by this one, citrine. Now, citrine's purpose, yes, it is protectionary. It does push away bad energy. It pushes it away like nobody's business. But it also is for luck and prosperity. But what it's doing is in this kit is boosting self-esteem. It muzzles an overactive inner critic and gets you back to where you need to be. Because negative energy, especially if you're sitting in it a lot, like at work or something like that, or at home, I hope not at home because that sucks, but wherever you're stewing in it, it's breaking down and beating down your will. It's beating down who you are. And you've got to get it back. Okay? We're all human. This toxic positivity of, oh, I'm happy all the time. That's not realistic. You can't maintain it. You're human. So am I. So is everybody else. And if you're having a rough time in life or anything like that, hold on. Wait, anyone. During your recent restock, did you happen to acquire any more selenite? I got more selenite palm stones in. I'll have to look at the bars, and then I believe I've got some selenite sugar cubes coming in. They look like sugar cubes, but they're just little square pieces. So I will look. Let's see. I might stop in to try and see if I can get some soon. Thank you, Aaron. Awesome. Okay. And I'd love to see you again. But anyways, so citrine. There's going to be times when you have a rough time, when you're going through a rough patch, you need something to keep everything away. Now, you can charm a talisman, like if you're a pagan, a pentacle, if you're a Christian, a cross, if you want to charm a crystal to do that. You can actually intent a crystal, and there are different ways of doing that, and I am going to cover it on one of these Tuesday night talks. I'm going to try and drag Spiral Healing Energies Antoinette on for that because she's amazing at this kind of work. But you can charm something to be a ward. I just like these protection kits. They are so much easier, they're wonderful, and they're self-cleaning. They're awesome. The last one in the kit is clear quartz. And yes, clear quartz is your all-around amazing one because you can literally lay anything over it. You can charm or intent a clear quartz to be anything you need it to be. Just one purpose per stone, but you can do it. That's not what this is in here for. Clear quartz is also an amazing amplifier for all the other stones around it. So it's really going to get that thing booming, just vroom, 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 vroom. And it's going to make it a little stronger, especially if you're already in a place where you're having negative energy. Hold on, wait. Hold on, Elena, do you sell this protection kit at the store? Yes, I do, and I have to make some more because I had to run on them over the weekend. It was an interesting week. I don't know about you guys, but dang, I wanted a margarita after this week. Although it was nice because I got to see somebody who I basically think of as a little sister. Cheyenne, if you're listening to this, love you, kiddo. Mwah. But yes, Elena, I will restock very soon. I've also got to reprint the labels. Woo! I went through a lot of this weekend, which is also what led me to do this as the Tuesday night talk. I wanted to put something down for posterity because I can say this all day long, but you guys need something to go back to. Anyways, and thank you for the question, Elena. But anyway, so when you're already sitting and stewing in the negative energy, you need it more amped up. For the people that don't know about the protectionary crystals and stuff like that, they come in and they're dragging. They're in the middle of about to be divorced. They might lose their job soon. It has been really bad because something latched onto them. With this kit, I always say, take this kit, put it wherever you suck in your energy at. For me, it's always in the heart area. So I keep it right up here. For guys, it could be in a shirt pocket. Some people, it's around their throat. Some people, earrings, whatever. You will figure out where you suck in that energy at. But I always generally have people start with carrying it up here by their heart. And this kit will act as a filter and a block, great big shield. That way it's like, no, we're not going to do this. And a lot of people, they're like, but why? How could rocks help? Why would they help? It's like, just trust me. Do this. I've had experience with this myself. The reason why I know this protection kit works is because I had to make it and use it. I had to figure out which ones worked. So, it does work. And I've experimented quite a bit. All my clients, all the friends that use it, family, everything, they're like, my God, this is amazing. I'm like, yes, it is. That's why I built it, to make sure that it could help you guys. And a lot of times, negative energy and negative entity. And here's the thing, a negative entity will be brought in by negative energy, and it will bring more with it. So it's kind of a cycle. It's kind of that vicious cycle. But you can't just have regular garden variety negative energy, okay? But with negative entities, they will act like something sitting over your shoulder, whispering horrible, horrible things about you and everybody else to you. Think of the most toxic person you could ever think of and times it by 1,000. And the thing is, it sounds like your own inner voice, but it's not. You have to be insanely self-aware to really root out what's going on, because you're not going to know. They're very good and very insidious. And even if you do know what's going on, by the time you realize it, it's hard to separate it out. And it's hard not to believe a lot of stuff that they tell you. So, with this on, it's like, whoa. Okay, no, we're taking all the emotion out of this. Go away. No, I'm not like this. Nobody else is like this. You're just a wang. Go away. Bye-bye. And a lot of times, once their stuff stops working, it might ramp up a little bit. That's why you Palo Santo your house, burn the black and the yellow and purple candles and everything and get it all out. But a lot of times they'll have to stop because you're not responding anymore. And therefore, they're not getting any food, because the whole reason why they come to you in the first place is negative energy is their food source. Whether it's anger, hate, grief, jealousy, lust, anything, they love it. That's their Taco Bell or their Taco John's or their McDonald's, whatever it may be. Hold on, wait. Aowen, would turkey? No, actually, it would not. Some people do. Some Native Americans and things do, but I have not found it to work personally for me. You can try it for yourself. That's fine. But in my book, no. However, what turquoise does, and anything light blue colored, is it will open up that throat chakra and get you talking. So that might be one of the things that is protectionary about it. Because a lot of times with this stuff, you have to raise your voice. And I have heard from different people who've had attacks and such, that once they raised their voice, once they said no verbally, this stuff had to back off. So that might be a component to it. But what I do know is turquoise, even the turquoise color, opens up the throat chakra if it's blocked or anything, especially if you can get, for women, if you can get a big set of turquoise earrings. If you're a guy and you have a pierced ear, just get one like turquoise crystal or something. Get that open, get that moving. Okay, so protectionary stuff, and believe me, everyday people need protectionary crystal kits. It's just the world we live in right now. There is a lot of negative and a lot of bad and a lot of dark out there. And the thing is, it can get really, really heavy, and we need a way to clear it out. So this is the way, or at least one of them. Now, empath protection crystals. And yes, I made notes. Yes, I'm doing an article on it. I'm just trying to figure out when to publish the articles so they don't interfere with the updates on the talks and the events and everything. So I think I'm going to start publishing the articles over the weekend. That way people can see it and just go to it then, because I don't have a lot of virtual events going on the weekends. I figure everybody's out doing stuff. Anyways, okay, empath protectionary crystals. Now, when you've got high sensitivity to other people's energy, emotions, thoughts, things like that, baggage, it can be debilitating, especially if you don't know what's going on. And I feel really bad for a lot of kids who are in this boat right now. I just had an incident with my son over the weekend, and I couldn't even figure out what was going on until I spoke with the young lady in question that was in the store, and she broke down crying. She had one hell of an energetic poker face. I felt a little bit of anxiety, but it wasn't that bad. My son, however, completely lost his bleep. Okay. I didn't know what to do with him. I didn't know what was wrong because I'd never seen him react that strongly, but I did. And so I was getting frustrated. I'm just like, oh my God. And then I was like, and then it hit me like a lightning bolt. I'm like, wait a minute. And so I went and I grabbed the stones and I put them on his chest. And he's like, no, oh, okay. He started to calm down. He started to calm down. But it wasn't until I actually went and I talked to the girl face to face. I said, okay, is this what you're feeling? And she had a very bad set of experiences, and some of her traumas had basically been triggered, really, really bad ones. And I won't say a lot because that's her personal private business. But it was rough for her. And she never would have said anything. I mean, she would have said it, but she would never have let on how bad it was. However, my son outed her like, bam, and after she was talking, after that, festering sore was popped and some of the metaphoric pus was let out, all of a sudden he calmed way down. He was good. He just went to play. But she had to be honest. She had to let all that go. However, for my poor child, he had just been thrown for one hell of a loop because he felt a bunch of stuff that he didn't know how to process. So we sat, okay, you guys know my son. He's expressive responsive disorder. And they say he's on the autism spectrum as well. But I sat with him for a while and I explained to him, I'm like, honey, sometimes we feel things that aren't ours. We can't hold on to those. We have to let that go because it's not ours. And next time I need you to say stones, mama, stones, because trying to keep anything on him at any point in time is just ridiculous. I've tried necklaces, bracelets, I've tried everything. I've tried anklets. Nothing works. That kid, he barely likes clothes, all right? And he hates shoes. For obvious reasons, clubfoot stuff. But for empaths, it's especially important. I guess I'll use the word important. It doesn't really cover it, but important to have this stuff on you. That way you don't really suck up anybody else's stuff. I mean, there are times when you're meant to. He was obviously meant to help this girl, and I know that. But as a mom, that was heartbreaking. But it was good. She got farther on her healing journey, thanks to my kiddo. And, he's all about it. He's all about helping people. But what I use is white selenite, black tourmaline for that empathic sponge thing, and kyanite, black kyanite. Because what black kyanite does, and that's a really important component, you can add a little citrine or rose quartz. Instead of rose quartz, I prefer deep pink calcite. I think they're calling it strawberry calcite now, something like that. It goes by a bunch of different names. Anyway, it's a really, 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 really deep pink kind of calcite, and I love it for deep emotional healing. I'm having trouble getting my hands on it again in polished form. But I did manage to get some rough chunks, and it's on my rough chunk spinner. I advise it for everybody that needs healing, and some that don't. I just love the stuff. Anyway, so the black kyanite acts as a chakra aligner, but also an auric field hole filler. Say that 5 times fast, and I don't know why I'm blurring out. Okay, anyway, but say that 5 times fast. Auric field hole filler. So when we have these problems, we get punctures and things like that. We start to develop leaks. If you've been hit by a psychic vampire or an energetic vampire, it is nasty. They can actually do damage. They can actually suck energy out of your spiritual body and leave holes and wounds and stuff that you have to have somebody go in and heal and close and stuff. Black kyanite, if you can't flush somebody's energies off of you, you lay that down right on your chest, right in the middle where your heart is. You hold it there with the selenite and the black tourmaline. And if you don't have black tourmaline, just selenite then. White selenite. And all of a sudden you'll just feel this bubble. It's almost, I akin it to a bubble, and then and it just sloughs everything off. But you might have to hold it there for a while. Aowen, sorry kiddo. He clearly is very gifted when it comes to this. He will be a wonder to watch grow. Thank you, Aowen. I appreciate it. Hold on. I'm interested to meet him, but kind of scared at the same time. Oh, you're a Scorpio. He's going to love you. Don't be surprised if he glomps you. Same as I was before I met your dad, but was totally at ease as soon as we began speaking at the shop. Yes, and that is dad. That is dad. No, he's gonna love your energy. He loves Scorpios. He loves other Pisces. He loves Cancerians. He loves Virgos too. And he's really cool with Tauruses. But then again, mommy's a Taurus, so um, just scared because I don't want to impart my baggage onto others, which is heavy. Yeah, and I understand that, but I don't know. That kid has the wildest way of just being like, okay, I see you're hurting. I'm sorry that happened to you. I give you a hug. I try to energetically heal you. I will hug you so tight. I will love all the pieces back together. Meanwhile, in the background, I'm screaming, that doesn't work that way. And he's ignoring me. And yeah, so that's how it's probably going to go. But no, he's quite the little dude. He is probably one of my best energetic sensors in the shop. And he, even though he's expressive responsive disorder, he always gets his message across. Always. I just have to slow down long enough to listen to it, to learn, to watch it. So yeah. Autism, expressive responsive disorder, everything like that. A lot of people classify it as a disability, but for me, I honestly believe they're just speaking a different language, and we just don't have a Rosetta Stone for it yet, because they are trying to get a message across. Some of the ones that are very, have a lot of difficulty verbalizing, and they just, at least from what I've seen, they always have a message. They always have a way of getting it across. They can always communicate. It's just not what we are used to, or what we have any idea of how to process, how to relate to. My husband and I always joke about the old Star Trek episode, well, and the Next Generation Star Trek episode, where the Enterprise crew meets a race that speaks completely in metaphor. And the thing is, it's a metaphor from their culture, so none of the crew has any idea how to speak that language. They're like, what is going on? And the classic thing is Shaka, and the walls fell. Matembe, and it's like, and that's always what we say about Arthur. It's like, yep, Shaka and the walls fell. Okay, all right, fine, And he's trying. He's really trying to communicate. He tries to copy off of the television, but he's copying what he's saying is from the scenario on the television, and we're just like, oh boy, you really are speaking in metaphor. Okay, I don't even remember that episode. I was so tired, but he is trying, and it's just, I wish there was a Rosetta Stone for it. Oh, hold on, just one second. Aowen. Like Zach mentioned before, these modern times, people on the spectrum were considered shamans in some cultures. Oh, neat. Yeah, that would fit my kiddo. It's a rough path, though. Woof. That's so sweet that he wants to heal with hugs. I think that a hug goes a long way to heal with some wounds. Elena, yes, you are definitely right, and I appreciate that. Thank you. I always worry because some people who really are not ready to heal, and they're not ready for that, they get really freaked out. And I'm like, baby, you cannot touch everybody. Andres. And he's like, nah. And I'm like, please, for mommy, please. And he's still like, nah, But anyways, I digress. For sensitives, empaths, and even people who come into a lot of public contact, who are just constantly bombarded with the energies, telemarketers, or customer service, I should say, customer service, retail workers, therapists, counselors, social workers, nurses, anybody like that. Your empath protection kit. That's what you want. You need, if nothing else, get the white selenite, black tourmaline, and black kyanite, and you wear that. And like on the weekends when you're not working, set it aside so it can have a little time to heal. I know I have 3 different kits I switch out with, because the people that come into the store, some of them are just, they are in pieces, And of course I'll know right away because Arthur knows right away. But once they come in with the dark entities, he has a bit of a different reaction. When he starts screaming to go outside, to go to grass, that's because he needs to get it all off of him. I discovered that when we went shopping at Hy-Vee. we have to go at night so as the energy doesn't just overwhelm him. But even after we're done grocery shopping at night, he has to run right out to the grass. And I remember when I don't know who he ran across, but he ran across somebody particularly just that had really dank energy, really yucky energy. He had to run right out, and he was rolling around on the grass, and I finally had to get his shoes off. I got his shoes off, and I got my shoes off because it had affected me, and I didn't even realize it. I was just getting really cranky, and I was just, ugh, you know. I got our shoes off, I got our socks off, and we walked around on the grass barefoot, and all of a sudden, about 15 minutes went by, and everything was gone. It was like new. It was like it never even happened. He was fine, I was fine, and that's what really let me know this is not any other behavior but energy sensitivity, and he has it in spades. My dad had it when he was little too. I talked to my dad about some of the stuff because you guys know Dad's a psychic medium and a clairvoyant, and he has been since he was itty bitty. You know, um, he's like, "Don't worry, night terrors and psychic kids go hand in hand, honey." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." Like that's not a happy thing. And he's like, well, I had them and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, so when did you grow out? How did you stop them? He's like, oh, I didn't. I grew out of them. I'm like, what? When? He's like, yeah, I was 12, 13, 14. I'm like, oh God. And anybody who knows anything about night terrors knows they're horrible. And to watch your kid go through that's horrible. So the best thing I have found for them is actually co-sleeping. It shortens it, and it makes the duration of the night terror less, and it makes the frequency of the attacks less because they know they have somebody there. They have a shield, they have someone there, and that person, is able to go, hey, 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 wake up, you're okay, wake up. And I mean, it was so bad when he was little, Arthur. He would sit up and he would just scream and cry, and he was terrified or horrified, either one. And he would just be staring. He would be staring straight at me and through me, wherever he was, wherever he had come from. I don't know if he was seeing something clairvoyantly. I don't know if he was dimensional dreaming. I don't know what was going on, but it was scary as hell. So I figured out co-sleeping. That's the only deal that's going to keep him okay. I tried all the stones. I tried everything. Everything. Heck, I even tried going to deity, and nothing. So night terrors are their own animal entirely. And then apparently they go hand in hand with psychic kids. Fun. Anyway, okay. So Elena, yes, ma'am, you've convinced me. Oh, well, good. I'm glad. All right. High extra. Okay. Black kyanite, white selenite, black tourmaline. And boy, this video is going longer than I wanted to. But of course, like 15 minutes of it was silence. I'm going to see if my husband can actually hack off that first part, because yikes. And then if you really want to, like I said, you can augment the combination with citrine to boost self-esteem, which a lot of people do, or you can use hematite to keep you grounded. Stacy, hello, Stacy. Glad you're on. Thanks for joining us. But you can use hematite, you can use rose quartz. I prefer deep pink calcite. Some people like amethyst in it. I don't. Amethyst kind of opens that crown chakra and kind of gets that booming. I'm not so big on amethyst. My dad loves it, but I'm not. Some people have tossed moonstone in there, and moonstone for me just enhances everything that I've got. Dad loves it, but he's pretty at home with everything he has. I prefer citrine, clear quartz, deep pink calcite. If I'm going to augment it, I would augment it with those. Sometimes hematite or specular hematite's good too. The difference between hematite and specular hematite actually acts as an alchemical switch, so energetic switch. So it takes positive and turns it to negative. I mean, I suppose if you want, you can turn positive to negative, but I'd rather turn negative to positive. I like switching that out because yikes. Stacy, thanks for saying hello. Well, absolutely, Stacy. All right, now, last thing before I go, and I apologize, guys. I have been all over the map. That's why. Like I said, been a weird day, been a wild last week. Still in recovery. Oh, do you have hematite? Yes, I have hematite palm stones. I have hematite wire wrap rings. I think I have some hematite pendants. I have hematite band rings. And then I also have small chunks of specular hematite. I brought those in specifically for that purpose. So yes, I've got a bunch of hematite at the store. And I believe I have some raw chunks of hematite still. I would have to check the spinner though. And raw chunks of hematite are fun to just sit on your altar and mess with. Now, the last stone I wanted to talk about, this is a boundary stone, and it's a little bit pricier, I will tell you that, and it's a little bit rarer, hence the pricey. But it's a stone that I have not found I have not found its equal in boundaries. And this goes especially for empaths, caregivers, social workers, nurses, anybody, volunteer charity workers, anybody that has problems basically saying no to their charges, saying no to their clients. And I mean, everybody knows me. I was infamous for taking strays, giving them a place to stay, stuff like that. Not everybody, but a lot of times, Um, one lady, I knew her luck was going to turn around. She just needed 7 more days. But she had, I think he was one. She had a 1-year-old son, and I took her in, and it wasn't probably wasn't the best idea, but I just knew that if she had those 7 days, she would be okay. Her luck would turn. And yes, as it turned out, she found a home, she found a job, she found everything she needed. But she just needed that. She didn't have a place to go. She was from out of state. It was really rough. I have slowed down a lot on that after I had Arthur, just simply because I don't want to be bringing a lot of different energies around him. But before I had him, I don't know how many kids crashed on my couch, preteens and stuff like that. And I always tried to be there. Um, didn't always end well. They were on their own journey, and that's fine. But at least they had a safe space for a little while, and that's what I was about. Um, but a lot of times I would see somebody hurting, and I wouldn't be able to say no. That's like, and that was one of the really great things about my husband. Well, my boyfriend at the time, boyfriend, then fiance, then husband. Um, he was right there with us. He was right there with me. He's like, no, we got to help these kids. We got to help this person. We got to help that person. We got to help this person. We can't just leave them. We can't just leave them somewhere. And we would help, and however would go however, and everything like that. But it got to the point where I got really soured on it. I was getting really tired of it, but I couldn't say no. I could not walk past somebody hurting, but I knew I had to, just for the sake of my own sanity. Um, but I found this stone during a particularly rough case, and this was a kid that um, I watched his spirit guide. He ran away from me twice. He ran off into the streets twice, and I watched his spirit guide just hang his head. He just looked so heartbroken because this kid in particular ran away from safety all the time. He did not want to be in a safe environment. He would run toward the dark all the time. And I felt really bad. It broke my heart. But at the same time, it was getting to the point where it was putting me in a bad position in my family. And I had to say no. So I tripped across a stone. It's called Atlanticite. Now, I believe it's also called Tasmanite. If I remember correctly, it's a mix of serpentine and stitchite. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So it's green and purple. It's not the grooviest stone to look at, but it helps you shut those boundaries. It helps you shut the door and say, no, I love you. I want everything good for you, but I am not the one to help you. I am not the door for you to walk through, but I will do everything I can at a distance to help you. Getting you community resources, trying to help you out, but you are not welcome to break down my life. And that's the thing. So this stone, Atlanticite, is amazing. It shuts your boundaries, it shuts your doors, and it makes you say no. It makes you put yourself and what is important to you first, which is awesome. So I always recommend, it is a little pricey, but I always recommend people, anybody in these professions, anybody who has a problem and they keep taking in those strays, it helps you say no. It helps you know when to say no. Well, you know when to say no, but it helps you, it gives you that extra final push to go, no, I will help you from afar. So, Atlanticide. Definitely get a piece when it's in your budget. Stacey Lynn, I'm glad you're on. I miss you on Facebook. I know. I'm so sorry. Go to Spotify. I promise you. And download the app. That way you can see the video. My Gemini husband figured that one out. I was like, what? Ah. He's like, download the app. I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah. But yeah, go to Spotify from now on. It's going to be a lot better. Facebook has been getting so glitchy. I think this is like the third time I've been frozen out in a month or so. And I wasn't able to broadcast anything on. So yeah, fun. Okay. Elena, you have a kind heart to help those kids in their time of need. Not everyone can do that. Thank you, Elena. But at the same time, I had to learn to say no. There's a shelter over there. No, and that was the biggest thing. Now, of course, when cases come in with little kids, we always do a bunch of pro bono work as far as clearing goes and things like that. Anytime there's a little kid involved in the case, boom, it's pro bono, because we know at that point that family is on their knees, or that situation has just gone too far. But and a lot of times with preteens, stuff like that, we do pro bono work. We always get them in touch with resources. Heck, I know when Antoinette was helping out watching the shop, a lot of cases would come in and she would help get people, abused women, to different shelters. She would call Ubers on the shop's dime, everything like that. We have a long history. Me, Antoinette, Dennis, heck, even my mom and dad have a long history of helping. But Atlanticide is a very valuable stone, and I'm about to get my dad a piece. I may actually get my mom a piece. I don't know if she'd wear it, because it's not her color scheme. If it's not light blue and blue, she's not going to wear it, So I'm going to have to get it with some other stones. But she doesn't care what the stones mean. My dad's more of the stone hound than she is. She likes jewelry. She is definitely 100% girl. But Atlanticide is an invaluable stone. But thank you, Elena. I appreciate the compliment. I really do. Okay, hold on. Stacey Lynn, I did, but it wouldn't let me listen to it. All right. I'm going to go have my Gemini tech support hubby look at that, because, oh my God. So I did not have a problem myself. A couple of friends who tried it, they didn't have a problem, but we'll look into it. No worries. We'll get you an answer one way or another. And I think I still have you messaged on the shop's messenger. I believe so. If not, text the shop. This new number, 515-561-4250. And once he figures it out, I'll get you texted back. Because I'm trying to move everything over to Patreon and Spotify. If nothing else, I'll get you, once I get my Spotify hooked through Patreon, I will just get you the Patreon link, because Facebook is just getting glitchy. I mean, I don't know. I guess people don't have anything else to do but hack other people's Facebooks, right? Yay. More coffee. Anyways, alrighty. Covered the protection crystals, covered why you need them, covered the empath protection. And one thing I always tell people, if they have small kids, if your child is screaming and wants up on you, I don't care if you think it's manipulation or whatever, you grab that kid and you put them on you. Moms have an innate energetic shield that keeps stuff away. And kids are ridiculously more sensitive than adults. We've already gone through all this stuff. We built our walls. We're like, no, I'm not going to see nothing. I don't care. A demon could literally be going, hey. I'd be like, now I ignore you. I'm getting my grocery list ready. Go away. Kids don't have that. They don't have that kind of a shielding. So if your kid wants to sleep in bed with you, if your kid wants to be held by you, all the way up until they're probably about 10, 11, 12, if they need to be right on you, put them on you, because they are picking up something bad. Whether it's a physical predator or a metaphysical one, something's going on. And my son is a big one for that. Most little kids will say, hold me or pick me up or something. No, he just lays on me. Like, yeah. And I'm like, oh dear. If I'm busy and I'm doing something and I'm in that headspace, I'm like, what? What? Shit. Give me a couple minutes. Ah, but when he really starts, he's always clingy and I love it. Honestly, I love it. So we're good. I'm a Taurus, he's a Pisces. It works out great. But when he starts to become overly clingy, I know something's really, really, really wrong. And so I just pick him up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold you. And then I drop down into the other state and I scan. And sure enough, there's something there, something nasty. Hold on one second. The moonstone ring I bought from you, if I take it off, I still feel its presence. Yes, actually, that is a great thing. That I told you it was meant to be with you. That's why. So that's awesome. And Rainbow Moonstone, the ring you have, Stacy, it is, for me, it enhances everything I have. So it makes it a lot stronger. I remember I used to love it and I used to wear it all the time when I was going to different vendor shows and stuff. I remember one incident. I had a big pendant of it, about like that. I still have it locked away in a box somewhere. But I was wearing it, and it was right over my heart, of course. Before, this was years before I always liked the stuff. I researched it academically. My dad always talked about it. But, the second your parents talk about anything, potatoes grow after a certain age. But I had it hanging over my heart, and I was at a show, and I'm working along, I'm doing stuff, and I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm happy. I've made some great connections. I made some good friends. I'm actually in a town where a kid that I felt like was a little brother, it was his hometown, and he came to the show, and we just hung out, and he helped me. I was in a really good headspace. I was in a really positive headspace, and I had it on, and I kept feeling progressively worse, and I was like, what is going on? And I asked him, I'm like, please just watch the booth. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. He's like, okay, go to the bathroom. It's going to be a little while, isn't it? I'm like, yeah. I went to the bathroom. And at this point, I did not cry. I never cried. I never cried about anything. I went to the bathroom. I broke down just crying. Oh my God, I just wept and sobbed, and I felt like everything was bad, and oh my God, how was I going to make rent and all this? And I'm like, what the hell? I'm fine. But what I found out later, all the other vendors were doing very poorly, the ones that didn't have jewelry and stuff. And I was like, oh, I took off the necklace. Everything stopped immediately. I put it back on, it started. I took it off, it stopped it. And so needless to say, I took that necklace off, locked into the box, and I've got it cleaned out. But I don't wear it because of that incident. And I don't actually wear Rainbow Moonstone at all now because of that incident. My father, however, who is very at home with his gifts and he's had like 50 years to really come into his own. He loves Rainbow Moonstone. The more of it he has, the better. He also loves amethyst and lapis, though, so, but very high vibe stones. And Rainbow Moonstone is, for me, it's an enhancer. So that might be another thing, Stacy. If you're coming into your own with some of your gifts, the Moonstone might be enhancing it and might be helping it. My dad has a Rainbow Moonstone ring, a large one that I got him. He loves it. He doesn't go anywhere without that ring. He loves it. So, and he loves the way it feels. And he actually, come to think of it, he has told me before that, he can still feel it on his finger. So I think it may just be that you're coming into some of your own gifts. If I had to postulate a hypothesis, I would say that you're moving farther along on your journey. But let me know if that rings true for you. But anyways, and labradorite is another one that helps. It kind of helps support you while you're opening up your psychic gifts. So you might actually want to check and see if you have any labradorite around, and hold it and see how that feels. Hold on. By the way, Stacy, I hope that answered your question. I'm not sure if it did. Anyway, Erwin, I have dreams where I'm crying and weeping until my jaw is sore when I wake up, like that type of vibe, and it goes on and on during the whole dream. Oh dear God, Wait, I remember you telling me a little bit about this. I wonder why I might be having these dreams periodically, perhaps due to my loss and loneliness, but I was wondering your thoughts. Sorry if that's super off topic. Well, nothing's really off topic. I've wandered all over the place in this vid. Honestly, I would say I'm wondering if you're traveling elsewhere while you're dreaming. Because that seems more intense than loss and loneliness. That seems, I don't know, that just seems to me, that seems very, very intense. And I would probably check that out on the metaphysical first. Look, I know. When you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. But I promise you, that sounds more metaphysical in nature. Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely get that checked. You know what? I'm going to run this past Antoinette from Spiral Healing Energies, if you don't mind. She's my energy worker and Reiki therapist. I want to run that past her, and I want to see what her thoughts are, if you're okay with that, anyone. Stacy Lynn. Awesome. Okay, cool. That did answer your question. And when lapis lazuli is the best gem in my opinion. Now that's interesting. Lapis lazuli is one, it's really third eye based, and it kind of helps you when you're doing a lot of walking around outside your body and all that fun stuff. So that lends more to my theory of your previous question. I think we want to get you scanned over to see what you're doing in the astral, to see what's going on, where you're going. Yeah, lapis is a beautiful gem. I love it personally myself, but not as much as my dad does. My dad is the lapis and the amethyst and the rainbow moonstone hound. I still like rainbow moonstone, but I won't wear it anymore. Okay. Anyway, it's always revolving around some traumatic loss in the dream, and I try to tell myself it's due to the fact that I have a fear of loss of control of my mental illness. I don't know. That's pretty intense, especially with the jaw clenching and everything else. I am wondering what you're seeing. And see, that's the other thing about stuff like this. You can actually home in on other people's loss if it connects to your own energy. So this is a hypothesis. This is just a theory, no concrete evidence, but you might actually be kind of connecting to other people's loss. Does it always seem like it's a personal situation to you, or do some of the situations seem really foreign? Because if they do, I am wondering if you're picking up other people's stuff. But I don't know. Try sleeping with some black tourmaline, white selenite, and hematite under your pillow. See if that helps. I would say petrified wood, but I don't think we're to that point yet. But see if that helps when you run into a patch of these dreams. If you have any warning that they're going to happen, see if it helps. If it does, we might want to take a look into more of the metaphysical. But I'm still going to run it by Antoinette if you're okay with that. Okay. And Stacy Lynn, I love Tiger Eye and Moonstone. Okay, yeah, protection and amping up your abilities. That's a good combo. I'd probably throw in some obsidian with those, though. Just for me. Well, selenite and obsidian. Black obsidian. Or mahogany, either one. I need all three of those. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So I guess another visit to the shop. All right. Let's see here. I'm okay with that. She's chilling and wise. I will tell her she is chilling. She'll enjoy it. Chill, not chilling. I'm still going to tell her she's chilling. She's going to have fun with that. But thank you. All right. I'm going to run it past her, and I'm going to see what she says. Just because. Just because I have a funny feeling that it might be something more. So, visiting is a treat for me. Thank you, A1. I appreciate that. I'm glad. All right, my lovelies. Well, I have talked about just about everything I was supposed to say. This video is a lot longer than it was supposed to be. But I want you all to know, love you all. Thanks for joining me. And tune in tomorrow night for Gem Talks on white selenite. I'm going to talk a little bit about what it does, but also about history, chemical composition and history of selenite. By the way, did you know that you can actually grow white selenite yourself? All right. Love you all. Mwah. Have a good night. Oh, remember, if there is a crystal you want to know about, or a subject, or anything like that, put it in the comments. Also, like and subscribe for future stuff. And honestly, just go to the Spotify channels because, oh dear God, Facebook is so kitschy. All right. Love you all. Mwah. Oh, Elena, thank you. I learned a lot and enjoyed this session. Have a great night. Thank you. You too. Eowyn, thanks. Have a good night. Thank you, darling. Stacy, love you too. Aw, thank you, Stacy. Bye, guys. Toodles. Till next time. And remember to tune in for the short story reading podcast, Alicia's Desk. So, thanks, guys. Thank you.